Alrighty, back in the shop. Got a 2012 Toyota Rav 4. It was a vehicle I picked up to flip. Got a good price on it. Doesn't need much for safety, other than it needed rocker panels. And I figured since I'm a body guy, we'll just paint the thing. So, putting on some rocker panels, I figure I just kind of go over if someone's interested in what you need to actually throw on rocker panels properly. Go over some of the tools, the rocker panels I bought, and kind of break down the process on what's involved, and go from there if anyone's interested. All right, got some tools laid out here on what we're going to need to replace this rocker panel on this RAV4. Various vice grips, always need them holding to clamp on your new panel. Generally, you use vice grips like this to weld in between for the spot welds. Clamps really well, and you get a nice solid hold so that your panel doesn't lift in between the welds. I have a various different amounts of different types just because I like a variety when I'm doing this. And then I just move this one around where I'm welding. Have my aftermarket rocker panel piece there. We used to build all the rocker panels in-house. We had a nice 10-foot brake, hydraulic, yada, yada, yada. Don't get me wrong, beautiful machine, great. This shop's too small. We've relocated. My father retired. I didn't end up taking over that shop. Everything in the economy has just kind of gone wonkers, and it's too expensive. So I ended up downgrading. I'm renting a smaller facility. Didn't have the room nor the power to actually operate the big hydraulic brake, so it wasn't worth purchasing from my father. So here we are, buying smaller manual brakes and doing things like that, and just buying aftermarket panels as I can. I did already cut off the original rocker, sandblasted it at our old facility, and put some primer on it just to hold it over because I knew it was going to be a while before I got back to it. You can see some rust starting to creep. It's just surface rust. I'll knock it down. I got to clean up that lip anyway because that's where we're going to be welding, and you'd like a nice clean surface. I see a lot of shops, they'll cut off rocker panels and they'll just clean the lip where they have to weld back on and leave the rust in there. We've never been fans of that. We've always opened it up, sandblasted the inside, patched anything that needed to be patched on the inside. This one doesn't have any extra holes. It's actually not in bad shape. I could have got away with just patching a small section on it, but again, when the rust starts behind the rocker, why half-ass it? Just cut it off and weld on a new piece. I'm a big believer on if it was welded on, it should be welded back on, not gluing it. A lot of people are using panel bond. I get it, it'll hold. There's a place for panel bond, and I don't think it's gluing rocker panels back on a vehicle, unless the manufacturer states that you can do that. These panels are designed to be welded back on. I get it, panel bond is quick, panel bonded on, you know, next day it's glued, do your body work and call it a day. You save a ton of time. So anyone flipping vehicles or doing crap like that, it happens all the time. And I'm not a believer in it. So I weld everything. Do it right or don't do it at all is what I say. So there's that. Back to the tools, various grinders, cut off wheels, belt grinders, hole punch. So I can just punch in the holes to weld for my spot welds, so I don't have to actually drill everything. Various wire wheels, grinders, yada, yada, yada. Blowgun, important. As you're welding, you don't want the vehicle to catch on fire. Like to keep the welds cool. I throw up a welding blanket. Make sure you don't burn your interior carpet and start a fire. Always be aware of what's going on. Rocker panels, if they're full of oil, good chance it's going to catch on fire. So, you know, go ahead and clean that. Clean the areas you're going to weld at least to keep that chance down. I like air just for the fact water's messy. Air, you blow it in and it usually puts out any fire that is there. careful with your windows. Some people will throw up paper, whatever, over top. I just prefer to pay attention to what I'm doing, keep my hand over the welder, yada, yada, yada. And you don't have the sparks flying everywhere. You can really control your environment just by paying attention to what you're doing and get it done. So anyway, I will get the holes punched in this. I will get my areas cleaned up, and I'll get the rocker clamped on. And from that point, give you guys a little update on where I'm at, how it looks, and how I move forward from that point. Again, anybody that's interested. Tip number 342, make sure you have a good ground. So grind a spot and find a good ground close to where you're working. Tip number 384, disconnect your battery. Last thing you want to do is have something short out, a computer or something. We've always disconnected when you're working on vehicles like this. Any more modules, computers, you don't know what somebody's done, what somebody's grounded to, what somebody's messed with on the vehicle. And the last thing you want to do is short out a computer that costs you $1,000 because you were too lazy to disconnect the battery. All right, continuing on here, I've got the rocker panel in place, welded up. I wasn't going to bore you guys with the process of clamping, welding, all that jazz. Seam's fully welded, it's not just tacked. So I weld everything fully other than where I spot welded along the bottom. Make sure your fitment and everything is good. We have a nice door gap, nice even all the way along. So that worked out nicely. This door as well. Turned out nice. So now I'm gonna go through, and you wanna make sure your welds are good enough that you're fully penetrating through to the other side, but once you grind them down, you shouldn't have much to grind if you're actually doing proper spot welds and your welder set up. You shouldn't have mountains of welds. It should give you a nice little dime-like weld. Let's see if I can get in there and show you. Just like that. That way it's really easy to grind them down, smooth it up. So at this point now, I'm just going to go through, grind them all down real quick, grind along that seam on the top side, inside, since it's welded all the way along. I'm going to grind that down so that's all in the seam, and then what I'll do is give it a coat of probably fiberglass filler. Shouldn't have any pinholes, but if I do, I'll go back around and hit them with the MIG, and then I'll go along with fiberglass filler. I like to do that just in case you miss a pinhole. The fiberglass filler is better with keeping moisture out than regular body filler. It won't soak, or doesn't seem to soak as bad as body filler does. So I'll do the fiberglass filler and smooth that up, just a thin layer across that. And what I'm going to do with these particular rockers on a lot of daily driving cars, we are painting the whole vehicle on this, but I like to, we're not doing all the door jambs and that, just where the rust is. So I'm probably going to end up cutting it off at a certain point, just putting a tape line and priming it, gravel guarding it, and painting it white, so that the rockers are all done and the inside of the doors are done. And then I will proceed by taping off everything else and doing the outside of the vehicle. That's pretty much what I think I'm going to do this one. But yeah, that's where we're at. So pretty straightforward to put on rocker panels on a car. So if anyone's learning or attempting, take your time. The better you make something fit, the better off it's going to be when you're done welding. So main thing is take your time, fit the panels the best you can, clamp everything the best you can, Sometimes self-tapping screws help hold things in place as well. If you can't get a rocker panel to sit down on top of a ledge or something and it's fighting you, you can screw it down with self-tapping screws, and once you get it tacked into place, you just unscrew them and weld up your holes. So a little bit of advice, and yeah, go from there.